Last time on Let's Play Mega Man X2. Walk without rhythm, and it won't attract the worm. I'm the guy who does his job, you must be the other guy. Oh, it's gonna be one of those episodes, isn't it? 7 out of 10, too much water. May thy knife chip and shatter! I don't like sand. It's coarse, and rough, and irritating, and it gets everywhere. Taste the rainbow, motherfucker! And now, the conclusion. Clement couldn't get through this stage without taking any damage, and he said that if you could, you're a better man than he, or woman. So prepare to meet your new king. The Mississippi King, in fact. Welcoming y'all back to more Let's Play Mega Man X2. This is the finale of Mega Man X2. And this time the video may end up getting longer than 30 minutes, so if so, I apologize. I'm trying to keep these videos relatively short, but that's not always something that's possible. Still, now we're fighting Serges, and Serges is actually kind of an interesting boss, but like what you want to do from the start is just pull out the Giga Crush, and you break all of the cannons, and that's before you can actually damage him, so I'd recommend that. But alternatively, you can charge up the Sonic Slicer if you can't use the Giga Crush. However, you can also use the Silk Shot. That works fairly decently against the cannons. And next up is the second phase of the fight, or rather, most of it. So here you just sort of like wait at the bottom and charge up the Sonic Slicer, dodge his projectiles, and then you just sort of wait around till he's done for. An interesting fact about him, his Japanese name is actually Serges. I believe that's supposed to be the Japanese, the French word for wisdom, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure how it's actually pronounced, but I'm guessing they transliterated it as Serges because the Japanese pronounce the English ER in words like surge as an A, so they would pronounce the word surge as sag, or something like that. So, I guess they thought that, they meant it to be an ER, but actually it's not supposed to be an ER, so, it's a bit of an error in transliteration. That's a bit of an interesting tidbit. One thing I can't believe I haven't talked about yet would be the epic music for X Hunter Stages 1 and 2. Because it is just fantastic. I love the music to it. It's such an energetic theme that really pumps you up for the last stages of the game. Because, yeah, we're going to finish this game in this video. And X Hunter Stage 3 also has a neat track, but I don't think it's as good as X Hunter Stage 1 and 2.
It takes a while to get past
This neat secret, however, is going to take quite a bit of decent maneuvering in order to get through. So we're going to need some really good reflexes here, and some expert skill if you ask me. As I was saying about the music, I actually do like X Hunter Stage 3, but I do prefer the remix in a future X game, I must admit. And would you look at that? I got through it. See, there's some skill for you, although to be fair, it did take several deaths in order to achieve that, so take it with a grain of salt.
Wow, you are so cool! I'm not worthy! I'm not worthy! Step inside for a special surprise.
So now we get the Shoryuken. The previous game had an awesome secret known as the Hadouken, and this game's version of it is the Shoryuken. And it takes everything out in the game in one hit-ish. It's a bit weird. The hitbox is kind of strange. There it is in action. It sort of like shaves off their health really quickly, but it's like, I honestly don't know what's up with that. It's a bit strange. So the Shoryuken is yet another move from the Street Fighter series. So that's pretty cool. Oh, and also, right there, I died on purpose. That was very much intentional.
I died so that I could show off the alternate route, because, instead of having to replay this, I can instead just, die and then show off the second route, because the checkpoint is right there, where we get the, one where we get the route to the super secret route and thing. And that's, however, the Shoryuken is only available if you actually kill all, you get all the upgrades. And you can actually use the strike chain to get that more, that's fairly easy to get with the strike chain. That's one thing that's interesting about the strike chain. I'm not a huge fan of it, but what you can do is you can use it to grab items, so that's kind of neat. And I don't really like it, but whatever.
It's still kind of neat. Anyway, here we are at the boss fight, and now it's time to take on Agile, and he's very easy with his weakness. You just keep firing the thing up at him, the magnet mine, and it just shaves his health off really easily. You don't really need the Shoryuken for this, it's just kinda easy to kill him that way. I suppose this fight is somewhat harder without any upgrades, but it's still a joke.
No, this cannot be! Master, avenge me!
Master? Now, who could that be? Gee, I wonder. That's a real mystery, if you ask me. Although, I mean, like, I think everyone kind of knows who it is. And for the boss rush, I'm actually going to pick a song from Deltarune because it's pretty epic, and, like, since it's a sequel to Undertale with a noticeably darker theme, I guess it feels kind of appropriate. So, X Hunter Stage 4 actually has no boss, it's really just the boss rush. So, see you when we're done.
been a while, Mega Man X.
What? Sigma?
Seems that the X-Hunters have failed, but don't worry. I have arranged for some new toys for you to play with.
Wait, what? Sigma was behind it all this time? Who would have thought? And another thing that I feel I should show off, something that's interesting about the final stage, if you select the central computer stage, this actually takes you to the final stage. It's actually, like, indistinguishable from going there. So if you select X-Hunter Stage 5, then, like, it just takes you here. Except they shorten the stage, and the music is replaced with the intro stage music. And can I just say that the intro stage music is epic? Like, I think it may just be, like, my second favorite intro stage music in the entire series. I love it that much. It just gets you pumped up for a fight, and now we're having like an epic showdown. So about the Zero parts, one of the things they do, well, the thing that they do, is they actually allow you to skip a fight with Zero, and they give you a slightly different, better ending, and that's it. Yeah, I'm serious, that is it. The dialogue is different, though. That's one thing. So this means Zero is back, right? Well, yes, actually.
Look who I found wandering around Mega Man!
Someone who doesn't know how to use commas, that's who.
My friend here has a small problem with you. It seems that you let him die, and he's not too happy about that. Now I think it is time that he repays the favor.
But those who sacrifice themselves for the victory will never return, huh? Now you know why I laughed at that. Sigma, you should have studied the blueprints closer. There is only one Zero.
Wait, Zero, I know your secret! You are destined to follow me!
Maybe so, but I still don't like you.
Fine. If you will not follow me, then I will watch you die once again.
Zero is resurrected, and that's just so dumb. Zero! Sorry to keep you waiting, Mega Man X. The greetings will have to wait. Kept you waiting, huh? We've got to defeat all the Mavericks, including Sigma. I'll take out the main computer, and you follow Sigma. Let's go! There's a point later on in the series where a character dies and the death is undermined because of this. Here it is, X. Sigma lies just ahead. And it could be ignored if, like, instead it's merely the hardware that you're restoring and not the software, not the actual person. But it's not, cause Zero as a person is back. As such, he's just kind of alive now.
You are merely a bothersome insect, Mega Man X. It is about time that I crush you beneath my heel.
Like, why would you introduce a Zero and then kill him off only to bring him back in the very next game? That's so stupid. I digress. It's interesting to note here that the entrance to the fight is kind of the opposite from what it was in the first Mega Man X, because this time you actually descend into the arena rather than climb up to Sigma. So that's an interesting difference, and also it's an interesting way of hinting that, like, Sigma's forces have declined, and the fight itself is actually quite a bit easier than before, it's easier than the final boss of the previous game, cause I can actually beat this guy without using any energy tanks and without even having any upgrades for that matter. I'll show that off later, but at the moment, one thing that's interesting is that the first form of Sigma, in the last game, he had a lightsaber, and in this game, he's Wolverine! That's interesting. That's funny that, like, he keeps mimicking several famous characters. I mean, I guess Jedi isn't a character, but you know what I mean. But one thing that really bothers me about this fight is that every time you win against it, Sigma reminds y'all to subscribe to a YouTuber known as the Mississippi King. And, like, why would you do that, Sigma? You're supposed to be the villain. Why are you telling someone to subscribe to, like, a good channel? Way the baddies. I guess this means I'm actually the villain. I guess, like, if Sigma tells you to subscribe to this channel, then that must mean that I guess I'm a maverick? I mean, I suppose I am in a sense, but, that's neither here nor there. This joke is getting way out of hand. It's gone off the rails and crashed into a building, while also traveling at half the speed of light, potentially more than the speed of light if it's possible to turn a train engine into an Alcubierre warp drive and move faster than the speed of light by moving through space itself, but you know, I don't think that's particularly likely, because you know how it is to like manipulate space. It's kind of difficult, it's a lot harder than how it's portrayed in the movies, you know. Actually, the real issue is that even if it's possible to build an Alcubierre warp drive, it's certainly not possible under current technology. So it's probably not got an Alcubierre warp drive, and actually it's pronounced Alcubierre, not Alcubierre. Which is weird that I mispronounced that, because I know how to pronounce Spanish, so you'd think I wouldn't, but whatever. And the actual name of Sigma's Form 2 here isn't actually what's listed in the info card. I'm not listing the real name because that's somewhat of a spoiler. And it turns out it was Sigma all along. Feints within Feints within Feints. That's probably gonna be the title of this episode.
Mega Man X, I have lost to you again. Each defeat only makes me stronger and serves to bring you closer to your ultimate doom. But something is not right. I don't quite understand. Why did Zero? He is last of the Doctor's creations.
Yep, that's another Dune reference for you. I'm not gonna be referencing Dune for every episode, just for some. So now it's time to show off what happens if you don't collect all 3 Zero parts. You get a fight with none other than Zero himself. And I'm debating whether or not to include an info card, but if you see one, then, well, obviously you'll know what decision I've made. Because, like, there is a point in X3, but, like, I will say that his weakness is the fire wave, and that, well, his actual stats I will be putting into an info card at least in X3. But still, I'm a bit undecided, and you can actually lock him into a pattern if you fight him the way that I'm doing. He won't be able to hurt you. It's actually a very easy fight if you get used to it. Still, I just don't generally feel like dealing with it, so I usually skip it. And I'm choosing a fairly epic song for the speed montage when I tackle the fight with Sigma's two forms without any upgrades or sub-tanks.
Zero? Do you remember me? Yeah, I guess so. Sorry to cause you so much trouble. X, you need to go after Sigma. I'll try and destroy the main computer. Take care of yourself, Zero. I don't have time to put you back together again. I'll be okay. Get going, X.
The song I've chosen is March On by Dan Lebowitz.
Here it is, X. Sigma lies just ahead.
So yeah, get ready, folks. Hit it! And in my third playthrough of this game, my capture card crashed. Yep, I'm not even kidding, it just straight up stopped. Right then and there, just sort of out of the blue. Why does this keep happening to me? I wonder, am I cursed to have some stuff go wrong? Oh, whatever, it's no big deal. The capture card is still fine for the record. So now we have the ending cutscene, and it's presented to us in glorious squinto vision! I have no idea why they decided to put it in squinto vision, because it looks really weird, and the last game wasn't like this. But that said, I do actually really enjoy the music track here.
Joined by his friend Zero, Mega Man X gazes out over the sea. Sigma has once again been destroyed, but X wonders if the fighting will truly end. Was Dr. Light's dream of a world in which Reploids and humans lived together in peace merely a dream? The price of peace is often high, X thinks to himself. Who or what must be sacrificed for it to become reality? And when the time comes, will he be able to do it? The future holds the answers, or
what? I don't get that. It's just kind of weird that they just leave it hanging like that. But this does strongly imply that we'll be facing off against Zero in a future game. I'll leave that right there. But yeah, that was Mega Man X2. It's not as good as its predecessor, but I do think that people overlook a lot of the good things about it, and it's somewhat left in the dust, which I think is a little unfair. This game is still great. It has some good level design, some good weapons. I don't know that the weapons are as good as the previous game. Well, they're not, in my eyes. But a lot of the things about this game that are criticized, like how the X-Hunters show up and, like, force you to take certain routes, like, no, they don't. You can tackle the X-Hunters as late as you want, or as early as you want. There's nothing that really forces you to go out of your way into stages you don't want to visit. And that just kind of bothers me that, like, they bring that up when it's really not an issue. But the next episode for Mega Man X3 is probably going to be titled Plans Within Plans Within Plans Within Plans. Yes, it's not plots within plots within plots within plots. That's a misquote. The actual quote is plans within plans within plans within plans. And I know I keep saying it, but I do hope to drastically increase my upload schedule and improve that. Like, I'm hoping that at the very least I'll try to get Mega Man X3, 4, and 5 done in the first few months of next year, so hopefully I can pull this off. So, that's it, we're done. And one more thing that I should point out. Once you beat the game without collecting all 3 Zero parts, then what happens is that Zero is actually a Black Zero instead. So join me next time when we tackle Mega Man X3. This is the Mississippi King signing out, and we're done with Mega Man X2.